here with a new weekly painting, and this time I would like to talk about white. Since this was launched, Contours Apothecary White, I changed a little bit the way how I do white. So there is, normally what I was doing in the past, I was using a color like Blue Horror or Celestia Gray, and I was applying this as a base color, right? When you want to do white, you want to avoid you don't want to paint white at the beginning, right? Because if not, you cannot highlight it. So now what I tested this one Apothecary white, the contrast paint, and I will say that it works pretty nice. So I will show you here how it works. I will give some tips, and I hope you find this interesting. So the first thing we are going to do, we are going to apply this Apothecary white over the parts where we want to do white, right? We can prime this in white directly, or we can prime this with a very light gray. Even we can use the gray sear color. I like more with the greyish color if you want some clean white than the creamy color, right? I don't want to add yellow. Yellow on white have the connotation, or have it will give you the impression of dirty white, right? While if you use blue, blue is giving you the perception of cleanness, okay? If you want to do a clean white, if you want to do something that looks like, in this case that I want to do these angel feathers, I recommend to go for a bluish or greyish tones, right? If you want to go for something that is more like bleach bone, or you want to do like animal feathers, like that have brown in the rest of the body and can have a little bit of brown shadow, then go for creamy whites, okay? So always try to think what is there is not just one way to do the same color, or one way to do the colors. There are several ways to do colors, and it all depends on what you want, what is the sensation that you want to give with the paint, okay? In that case, I want to go for a clean white, and I recommend to use a very light gray or a very light blue as a starting point. And I will say Apothecary white, it gives a very nice shade. You can see it's quite, compared to the white we have next to it, it's looking quite greyish, right? This is normal, and this is what we want, okay? Because then from there we can do the highlights, and we can put it, we can highlight it up to the white at the end, okay? So we will apply that, and then we wait that this dries, and once half dry, we will be ready for the next step. It's very important. The contrast paints is a little bit like the washes. You want them to really dry well before working again on them, okay? If not, you can mess up. If there is another important thing, if you are planning to use another contrast paint just next to it, don't do it before it's dry, because if not, you will have problems, because the paint will mix in the borders, okay? So here you see we have applied the white on the feathers. We have to be careful that we don't miss any gap, okay? And no, we will not have to concern, because there is a lot of solvent on this paint, even if it looks that we are applying a thick coat, as there is a lot of solvent, a lot of non-pigment part on the paint. This will evaporate, and at the end we will have a thin layer. Okay, so now we have that, and I will wait that this dries, and once I have dried, I will be ready for the next step. So this is how it looks like once we have let it dry, okay? So next step, I'm going to use gray sear, okay? It's more pallid than Celestia Gray, and it's going to be more pallid than the color we have here. And we are going to, it's mainly to clean up feather by feather. We are going to paint, leaving the line between the feathers with this gray that we played. We are not going to see a huge difference doing that. The intention here is to eliminate stains or shades where we don't want them, right? Just to increase the definition of the wings. So we are going to do this feather by feather. And the only watch out is if we see some parts where the contrast did not work well, we go back to the contrast and we just apply a little bit. No, we do it localized to the area or to the part that we want to shade. For example, here it did not cover. We are going to apply a little bit of contrast in this part. Sometimes there is, I don't know why, maybe the prime did not work well or something. The contrast does not want to go in there. We need to do a second step. As this is quite small, and here I forgot a little bit, I missed this part, so I will put a little bit of contrast. And now while this wing is drying, we can change to another one. I will first look that all the wings are, I don't have more problems in other wings. And again, I'm not too concerned if I go too dark now, because I will apply the glaze here to make it lighter, right? So this is the whole purpose of this first step, is just to be sure we have the shading well placed. This one is perfect. And this one, you see there is a small gap here. I will just do like that. And here. And now I can continue with the glaze here in the areas where it's dry, right? Or you can just wait, but I will do it. Example on this one that is already dry. So we can start here. Let me see, because it's quite. Okay, and you can see what I will do is I go feather by feather and I paint them with grays here. Here you have to be careful not to make mistakes or big mistakes, as the intention is now to have a nice finishing. Okay, so I'm going to do the rest of the wings like that, because it's more of the same, right? There is not other mystery, and it's just a repetition. Feather by feather we go, and you can see we leave the gray in the separation between the feathers. Okay, it's not, the case will not be super long. Okay. If we are doing a different surface, just highlight almost or repaint almost everything except the deepest shades with eraser. Okay, so I will finalize the wings and I'm back for the next step. Okay, once we have applied the glazier, now is the time to use the white scar. Okay, and we are going to do in that case edge highlight. We like to go thin, and then we see if we want to make it wider or not. So let's start, for example, from this wing here, and what we are going to do, we are going to go next to the wing and do something like that. So this is the first wing, so we will need to do this and this. We try to be as thin and as controlled as possible. Sorry, I will. Okay, so we try to go like that. Okay. You can see it's quite a matter of patience. It's going to be maybe the slowest step because you need the most the highest precision in this step. Trying to work with the paint quite thin so you can have good control. And we keep doing. Okay. Did I put too much paint? If you go to white, don't worry, we'll leave it. And we will come later on with, again, a little bit of base here. And make it thinner, okay? Always wait at these lines before doing any correction. Here on this part, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do like that. And like that. And we keep working. Okay, so I will do the rest and I'll show you how it's looking like at the end. So once we have all the wings, as you can see, highlighted, and we are sure that the white is dry, I'm going to use again Glacier and I'm going to clean up the edge highlight. This can happen quite often, especially if the access is not very good. Sorry, I put my arm in the middle where I wanted to wet a little bit the paint. If the access is not very good, it's very easy that you make mistakes. So let's look here, for example, I did a very thick line of white. I come with grace here and with like that, okay? The objective is really to thin down these lines. Okay, and as I have there a little bit of white where I need a darker gray, I will use downstone. Okay, to go there. For example, here in this spot, I go with downstone. And it's done. Okay, so it's quite straightforward. Now we clean up all our wings, so we have to be methodic. We start from one point and we check, for example here. Okay, I will clean up this one. I will go on some of these places. Here I need a little bit of dark gray. Okay, this one is too thick, so I go. Okay. The idea here is to really make the highlight thin with the edge highlight. Okay, so I will do that, and that will be my last step to do this. At the end here we have more a pale gray. If you want whiter, you do the full, you instead of making this step, you do the full feather in white. Okay, but I consider this to be more interesting to me, and you can see how different in tonality is the gray sear, although when you are painting alone, okay, not next to white, looks much lighter. Okay, then we look here, you can see have some big white dots, I remove them. This one as well. So don't worry if you have made mistakes. It's always, the important thing is we learn from the mistakes and we learn how to clean up mistakes. Sorry, this one you will not be able to see, but sometimes this meter is a little bit complex with these two cherubins attached to each other. Okay, and this is the tutorial for this week. So I hope you have liked this one. Please give a like if you have liked it. And as usual, thanks a lot for watching, and see you again later. Bye!